So talk to me, how was your experience on RuPaul's Drag Race Down Under?
Um, so my experience was absolutely amazing. I genuinely don't have a bad thing to say about it. Obviously, I would have liked to have stayed more. Um, but no, I had such an amazing time, and bonding with the girls off camera and on camera is just like everything's just so positive about it. I just, if I could do it all again, I would.
Yeah.
Obviously, I might change a few things, make sure that my wig cap isn't showing.
Uh,
But no, I genuinely had a great time.
yeah. And talk to me about your runway look as well, because it was quite a beautiful moment and quite a powerful one. So talk to me through that as well. I'd really like to hear your perspective on it.
So as soon as I got a list of what kind of looks to bring, like for the hometown one, straight away, that was the outfit I was going to take because I was given such an amazing opportunity on such a global platform. I felt like it was my responsibility to initiate conversations. And, I've had so many people inbox me like, I had no idea about Australia's history with the First Nation people. Like, thank you for letting us know. And like, for me, even though for the international audience, they'll be like, well, what does that mean? What does that mean? It'll spark them to Google always was, always will be Australia or Down Under. And that will hopefully send them into like a spiral or rabbit hole of information about Australia's past.
Hmm. And do we want to talk a little bit more about that representation, First Nations representation in drag as well? Because I think that's a really important topic that we can discuss today. So, yeah.
Yeah. So for me, one of the key things about me doing drag is, I'm not trying to say that every queer kid should become a drag queen when they grow up or a drag king. But for me, it was about being the representation that I didn't have growing up. You can't be what you can't see. And so to be queer Indigenous representation for a lot of young queer Indigenous youth out there, if I can just reach a couple of kids and just encourage them, you can be queer, you can be Indigenous, they can coexist harmoniously, and there's something beautiful in that, like accepting who you are as it is. Suicide rates amongst young Indigenous children are so high, especially amongst queer Indigenous children. I don't know the statistics off the top of my head, but yeah, and it's just one of those things that if I can help steer someone into a different direction where they love who they are and they move forward with their life, then that's really all that matters to me.
Mm. And what does drag give you as an artist as well, and as a performer? What do you love about it so much?
I think what I love about drag is, and my friends always say, we don't really see JoJo, we just see our best friend behind closed doors. So for me, drag is very much, it's a creative outlet, it's an expressive outlet, and it's just a way of just having a good time and having fun. Like, I'm a man in a dress. I play dress ups for a living, basically, and I get to decide what I wear. I make a lot of my own stuff, so I'm very much the master behind the creations, and I have so much fun with coming up with new songs and cutting like audio tracks and actual song lyrics, cutting them together to make something fun and funny. And yeah, no, it's just, I'm a very creative person, and it's such an amazing outlet because there's just so many facets to drag itself. Painting your makeup, creating costumes, designing costumes, sewing costumes, and music. Like, yeah, I just absolutely love it. Everything about it.
Mm. And what do you think the success of RuPaul Drag Race and the franchise says about drag and acceptance more generally as well? Because it has been going on for so many years now.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that it's become more and more mainstream and more mainstream accepted, and drag has always been at the forefront of queer activism, and so it's one of those things that it's like a gateway of acceptance to communities that might have shunned homosexuality or the queer community for so long, that are now like, oh no, wait, they're actually, they've got feelings, they're fun, because you get to see so much strength and vulnerability on the show that it shows the rest of the world like, hey, we're here and we hear all the shit, all the stuff that you say, and it does affect us in a very real way. And I think the great thing about Drag Race is that it sparks a lot of conversations. You've had queens on Drag Race that are transitioning. You've had queens on there that have HIV. and it sparks a lot of those conversations, and it takes away a lot of that stigma, and it breaks down that wall, and it lets the mainstream heterosexual community into our world in a way that they might not normally have access to.
What would be your advice for young queens coming up through the ranks?
My advice would be, if you find a bra that fits, buy 5 of them, because they're never going to be there again.
Yep. Yeah.
No, overall, one of the great things about Aussie drag is that it is whatever the hell you want it to be. If you want to be a drag queen and look like a princess, do that. If you want to be a drag king and look like Beast from Beauty and the Beast, like, it's anything that you want it to be. There is no set standard of what drag needs to be. It can be whatever you want it to be. It's a creative outlet. It's performance art, and it's open to your interpretation. So don't focus on what everyone else is doing. Focus on what you want to do with your drag and what direction you want to take it. And most of all, just experiment, do weird stuff, have fun with it. Like, it's dress ups. Get into it.
And we've got a couple of minutes left, so I'm going to ask one final question. What's next for you after this?
I genuinely don't know. I can't wait to see and find out what is next. My goal, though, is to cameo on Black comedy. Like, that's my goal for this year. I don't care what it is. I will happily be on there. It's so much fun watching it, and it's just one of those things that I'd love to be a part of that. Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to add today?
I think overall, just enjoy the show. Just enjoy it for what it is. You can support your queens without tearing down any of the other queens. Absolute love and respect for Electra. She deserved that win, and she was an amazing performer. And you don't need to tear her down to lift me up, and you don't need to tear me down to lift her up. Support who you want to support. Just be loving, and watch it so that we get a second season.
Well, thank you so much for your time this morning. It was great to have a chat with you today.
No, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.